know your time is precious, so I'm going to just jump right into it and maybe just ask if you could give us a little background of how Satan was formed and kind of why the 20 plus year hiatus.
Right, yeah. Well, we formed me and Russ at school. We went to school together. It's the other guitarist, Russ Tippins, and we didn't speak to each other for about 4 years at school. We noticed each other in the playground and in the corridors, but we started going to concerts. We both like the same music and realized that we do. And seeing each other at the concerts, then we started speaking to each other. And then he told me one day that he'd got a guitar and would I like to go around and see him play his guitar. So we went round, me and my friend, my best friend, and Russ played us something like, I'm sure one of the riffs that he'd learned was Motorhead by Motorhead.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to him, right, on one of my school books, I'd already designed the artwork for the Satan logo. And
Perfect.
I said, how about we get some instruments and we form a band, and this is the name of the band. And this is the logo. And that's how the band got together. From then it went on to I ended up sacking my best friend, because the bass player, because he wouldn't buy an amplifier. And Graham, our bass player, has been in the band forever. He was actually the girlfriend of Russ's sister, the boyfriend, sorry, of Russ's
Yeah.
sister. And he said he could play classical guitar, so we decided he was the bass player. And then we met Brian Ross at a Blitzkrieg show, and Sean Sean used to play drums. Few people know this. He used to play drums for Raven.
Oh, okay.
Before they got a deal, he was their drummer.
Well, that's
And
great.
he's still good friends with John. And yeah, and we thought, well, if he's the drummer in Raven, he's great for Satan, because we want to be as crazy as them.
Yeah. So what caused the hiatus? Why did you guys decide to take a break, or did you branch off into different bands?
Yeah, we decided we got together, and then we wrote Courtney Act.
Mhm.
We thought we'd written something really special, that was different from all the other bands and the new wave of British heavy metal and all that. And the two places that we'd played concerts were in the UK and in Holland. We sold a lot of the singles that we self-financed, went to a store in Eindhoven in Holland, where the Dynamo Club was. And we ended up playing over there more than we did in England, to be honest. And so when the album came out, the first two reviews we saw were the review in Kerrang magazine in England and Odd Shock magazine in Holland. And both of them give us a really scathing review. One of them said we weren't very good musicians.
Wow.
And although we should have ignored that, when we recorded that album, I was 17 years old and I was very impressionable. And, we were all young. And we decided we're not doing the right thing. People don't like what we're doing. And
Yeah.
that's when all the changes started. And in hindsight, it was a really bad idea.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they got it wrong, because Courtney
Yeah,
Act was a major staple in the heavy
who would
metal
have
genre.
known? Exactly, who would have known?
Yeah, yeah. And it still is. So
Yeah.
it's definitely has lasting power. I have a couple of people that write into me, and they said, when I mentioned I was going to be interviewing you, they said make sure that they understand that they're more than just the new wave of British heavy metal. You were just heavy metal. The whole genre was kind of focused on that one record, and I listened to it a couple months ago. I actually pulled it up and listened to it and was just blown away. So I'm a recent fan. I think the last one I listened to Cruel Magic and Earth Infernal, and I just luckily got to hear the newest one, Signs, Songs in Crimson, just a couple days ago, and it's got lasting power too. It sounds it's right in step with what you guys have done throughout your whole career, and it's to me, it defines the genre, and it
Wow.
has definitely will have lasting power. Do you think this new Songs in Crimson is going to have the same kind of lasting power as Courtney Act?
I hope so, yeah. I think if we didn't feel like that, we wouldn't be doing this, because when you're young and you're putting a band together and that, you have all these dreams about being a big rock star and all that. Like Metallica, who used to be our friends,
Hmm.
used to pass tapes back and forwards to each other in the old days.
Yeah.
And when you feel like that, there's a lot of pressure on you. But putting the band back together like 12 or so years ago,
Mhm.
there's no pressure on us, to do anything. We did one show and then we wrote one song and then we wrote another 10 songs, and it's all just been a completely enjoyable experience that we have all been happy to do.
Yeah.
So we haven't got any of that pressure that a band has when they're trying to get somewhere. We do it for us.
Yeah.
For we do it for us foremost, and then if people like it, great.
That's even better. Yeah. Yeah. So or who is your main lyricist? Who wrote most of the music, or is it a collaborative effort?
Sometimes it's collaborative, but mainly it's Russ. Russ,
Mhm.
Russ is like the leader in the band. Always has been, always will be, and we all just look to him for the direction and the planning and most of the music and most of the lyrics. Yeah, and we chip in ideas, and sometimes a lot are used, and sometimes a few are used, and sometimes none are used.
Yeah.
And we're all happy with that because we know he'll make the right decisions and he'll put the right stuff together, and we'll all love it in the end. And so that's how it works. And I think being like that has made that's why we're so strong together. We're like a really tight group of friends that all love what we're doing. It makes no difference to me whether I'm playing a riff that he wrote or a riff that I wrote. It makes no difference to me.
Yeah.
I think the whole band's like that.
Yeah. And it's having that lasting power of having the same people in the band too must make a huge difference because it's a family.
Yeah,
And it sounds like that's a strong bond is definitely important, and it reflects in the music too.
yeah.
So I think
That's
that's great.
someone asked me that what's the most important thing about being in Satan, and I said
Yeah,
friendship. Yeah.
absolutely. After, are there any particular songs in Songs in Crimson that particularly stand out to you that you like? I mean, I got to also see the video when you released it of Turn the Tide, and I thought that was great. But are there any of these songs that are particularly um, near and dear to your heart?
Yeah, I started off with my favorite one when we put them together was Era.
Oh,
Um, it's very poignant because as we're getting older, especially, it's becoming more frequent that we're losing loved ones and people that we care about. And that song sort of epitomizes how we've been feeling a lot. And everyone can associate with it because everyone's had a point in their life where that's happened. You
yeah,
know,
we all suffer loss.
and
That's for
so
sure.
that was my and putting that together was meant something to us all. And after that, I started really listening to the rest of it. And for me, the next favorite I had was Sacramental Rights. I really thought when we put that together that it wasn't going to work on an album, a Satan album, because it's so 70s prog rock.
Yeah,
It's got moments in it that are just like, really? Can we do that? And the riff is for a guitarist, it's quite tricky.
yeah,
It took me a while to master it because the fingering is quite difficult. And I really liked the buzz I got off being able to play that well. It was
yeah.
exciting, and yeah, that became a favorite. And then towards the end, the last couple of songs that tagged on at the end, Whore of Babylon and Martyrdom,
Mhm.
um, I thought they were too simple.
Oh,
After playing Sacramental Rice, I'm saying, are we really going to use these riffs, these like simple riffs? Because we sound like a proper new wave of British heavy metal band now. We're all relying on the one chuggy riff.
yeah,
And
yeah,
we put the vocals on and the bass playing, and we realized if the guitarists, me and Russ, allow a little bit more space for the other musicians in the band, it's a
yeah,
good thing. It's actually a good thing, you
yeah.
know.
Well,
And
it worked. Absolutely.
yeah, I think Graham, he's a great bass player, and on this album he's been allowed to excel more because he's got a little bit more space and he's playing so much harmony to the guitar that more than playing the root like a normal bass player. And I think the bass playing stands out a lot on this album. And on those two songs, Brian, fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Have the energy of the songs, it kind of starts off in your face and it just keeps growing and growing. And a lot of people compare that to thrash metal or different types of metalcore.
Yeah.
Where would you say Satan falls on that spectrum of genre? Like which
Well,
metal genre?
I would definitely say that we were influenced by it a little bit, and we
Mhm.
probably helped create it as well. Because the idea in the band from the start, but on Caught in the Act, is just play everything as fast as you can, down picking. So the speed of the song was determined by how fast we could down pick.
Mhm.
And that's basically thrash music, you know.
Yeah.
That's I think even Metallica, that's one of their things where
Mhm.
you play everything down and it sounds more powerful and choppy. And the riff to at the start of Turn the Tide, sort of a bit of an homage to thrash metal, the first
Yeah.
riff. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think you can hear little bits of that throughout. And everything we've ever done in our career, you know, and what we listen to, you can listen to Turn the Tide and it has a thrash metal riff, and then you can listen to Sacramental Rights and it sounds like
Mhm.
some sort of band, English rock band from the like Jethro Tull kind of, you
Yeah.
know, it's got that feel about it.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's what I love about this album. It's a collection of songs, and normally when we do an album, there's a couple of the big epics on it, you know. But when we recorded this and we put the times down of the songs, there's nothing over 5 minutes, which
Oh
that's not really.
yeah. I'm
We
looking at, yeah. That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very surprised. Yeah,
Yeah.
because we normally have at least a couple of big epic songs that go on forever, massive middle sections and stuff.
Yeah.
This one seemed to be to the point, and you know, and like you said, in your face, and it doesn't give up. It starts and doesn't give up. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great, and that's why
Well,
we called it Songs in Crimson, because it felt like a collection of songs.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's interesting because I even feel like maybe you guys were one of the first bands to kind of experiment with the thrash metal. I don't remember any other bands before that that would have done it. Have you
yeah, yeah.
did Satan draw any inspiration from other bands when
We
forming
were,
stuff in the
I
80s?
mean, when we were kids, I remember getting a demo. I'm sure it was with. I wish I had it now. It was with Dave Mustaine singing the Metallica songs.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure it was Dave singing on it.
All
It-
right.
and he was definitely playing on it. It was a demo that they'd done.
Mhm.
And we felt, oh, look, there's another band in America that are kind of doing what we're doing. You know,
Mhm.
that they're trying to just play everything as fast as they can,
Yeah.
but a bit more technical than the punk bands. So
Yeah.
we got the idea from it by like being as aggressive and punchy as a punk band, but
Mhm.
being as having the musicianship of a band like Rush.
Yeah.
We wanted to mush the two things together and have like technical music played like a punk band, and
Yeah.
that was the idea, you know. And then there was a few bands. I think the first Iron Maiden album's a little bit like that,
Mhm.
and there was a few bands that were doing that in a way, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah. Yeah, that put me a lost words. I like that the phrase you said that playing technical music, playing like punk. I never thought of it that way. That's a perfect
The first few
analogy.
songs we learned to play, and we actually performed, were punk songs. We did. I remember doing "Holiday in Cambodia,"
Oh,
uh, "Pinhead" by the Ramones.
hmm,
We did some wacky songs. That's when the band started. We sort of lent into punk a bit because the songs were easier to play than the other stuff we were listening to.
that's awesome. That's awesome. So the record comes out or the album comes out on the 13th via Metal Blade Records. And you are doing some tours through Europe.
Yeah, yeah. We start
It,
on it's Monday today. We start on Wednesday in Manchester, and nobody believes this, and we didn't even believe it when someone said it. But this is the first ever UK tour of Satan.
oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
40 odd years together. We've never toured the UK. We've only played one-off shows in the UK, We've
Wow.
never been to Scotland, we've never been to Ireland, we've never been to Wales, so, and we're not going to Wales this time, so we'll still have Wales to look forward to after this.
Well,
But
they're
at least
definitely,
now we're doing a UK tour, which is fantastic.
well, they're in for a treat, that's for sure. And I'm kind of jealous. I would love it if you guys would come to the States.
Yeah, we're planning the States. We're doing the European tour after that, and
Yeah.
then the States is planned for next March.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to come over in March next year and do a few shows.
Well, that would be great. We'd love to have you guys here for sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
We love getting
Well,
the States. We did 2 tours last year. It was fantastic.
what's that? Sorry.
We did 2 tours in the States last year, and it was fantastic.
Oh,
Really.
yeah, I missed that. Darn it. Well, I do appreciate that you guys are planning to come back in March so I can make up for the lost time.
Excellent.
Well, I appreciate your time. Is there anything you want to leave up, like what's next for Satan and what plans you guys have after this, or is it ever
Yeah,
evolving?
yeah. It's just the usual. This is what bands do. They do an album and then they do shows. I think during COVID we lost a tour and we were going to go to Australia for the first time.
Mm,
So we're hoping that we can resurrect that next year and
that would be good.
go back to my favorite place, Japan. I really want
Oh,
to go back there. Yeah, I love Japan.
yeah. There's some good
So
metal bands coming out of Japan too.
yeah, I hope we get to go back there.
Yeah, that would
So
be great. No, that's great. Well, is there anything you want to leave with the fans about this record, about this album?
just I hope you enjoy it, and I'd love to see you on tour. We'll have a beer.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate your time. I keep it around 20 minutes, and that's about where we're at. So thank you so much for your time today. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's been a total pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Cheers. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye-bye.